Hey, John.
Eric, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
This fine Wednesday night.
It is. Last one before you head off. I get back, and now it's your turn to go enjoy some time off.
I am totally taken off.
A respite.
Yep. When we record next week, I will be in, hopefully, all is well. I will be in Prague.
Nice.
So that'll be
We'll just have to figure out what time it will be.
I'm expecting that we'll be recording at me 6 a.m. or so, and you, like, what is it, 9 hours? So you 9 or so. I don't know.
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
10 p.m. something. Yeah, it'll work. It'll work.
Anyway, we'll get it figured out.
Cool.
It'll be good. So yes, I'm very excited. And
how's the last minute chores before you head out? Getting done?
They are piling up. No. Yeah. It's pretty, I've got like a list of things that I have to get done before we leave. And they include things like, take the rake back to our buddy's place and the baler back. And literally tonight we're a little late because honestly, I forgot it was Wednesday and I was out unloading the final trailer full of hay when my alarm went off. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be done in 15 minutes. So
no worries. It's a holiday tomorrow. Holiday tomorrow, 4th of July.
4th of July. Yep. And, yeah, I drop my boys off at a camp tomorrow at 9 a.m., 2 hours away, or hour and 45 minutes away. So we'll be getting up and on the road by 7. And, yeah, like camp starts on the 4th of July. Yes, it does. Okay.
All right.
I don't know if they'll see fireworks tonight or not, or tomorrow night or not. Who knows? Anyway, well, hey, how was your week?
I was great. So a short personal story. My niece's husband, so is that nephew-in-law? I don't know how that works actually, but my niece's husband got drafted by the San Francisco Giants in baseball and has been working his way up through the farm system. And the Eugene Emeralds, just down the road here, close by where you're going to be tomorrow around 9 a.m., he got called up. That's a high A team, and they play the Hillsboro Hops. And so my niece came up, and we went to a game. He was able to get us tickets, so we went to a Hillsboro Hops game and enjoyed baseball. It was a fabulous night. This was Monday night, I believe. Fabulous night for baseball, and then they stayed at our house. Technically, he has a team hotel, and he can stay there, but apparently our house is nicer than a team hotel with a roommate and his wife as a roommate instead of an on the road travel companion. So yeah, they stayed with us. So it was a lot of fun. Getting to see that.
I have never been to a Hillsboro Hops game, but I have passed by the stadium when they're playing, and I've thought I should really do that.
It's just good old fashioned League of Their Own, or what's the movie with Kevin Costner? The baseball.
If you build it, they will come. Field of Dreams.
You Field of Dreams type. Small. I mean, there's like 8 rows in the it's not a big stadium. It's not holding 100,000 people. It's not Major League Baseball, but it's good fun,
And you can get a hot dog.
Oh yeah, and the lines are not that long, so it was a lot of fun. It was great fun. So that was kind of my week. It's been a weird week. It's hot one day and then cold the next day and rainy the next day. So we're in the transition season from rain to, hey, it's now summer. So, which is right about time. 4th of July is about the time when it transitions to summer. So we're good.
Yeah. We're a little frustrated at the weather peoples and the weather apps and the lack of calling of rain. So this weekend was I had to get all the I made hay. Oh, criminy. Now I'm remembering I didn't go out and look at the bale counter to see how many bales of hay we made. Anyway, it was around 380 last I looked, so I'm going to guess it's about 400. A little over 400 or something. But anyway, regardless. But so Saturday started pretty early. I was out. Well, I think I raked Friday afternoon, and then I raked again on Saturday into like windrows that I could bale.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of work.
Uh-huh.
We'll just say it was a lot of work. and I broke the rake. So I sent some pictures to the buddy of ours, and I was like, I'm sorry, I broke our rake. Literally, so the way it works is there's these two big circles, wheels, and then there's 5 bars on the wheels, and the bars rotate. People listening can't see my hands. The bars rotate so that these they basically rake the ground all in one direction. And one of the bars snapped off on one side, and that did not make the whole thing very happy making. Nothing else bent, and I got it stopped pretty quickly. About probably 30 to 50 feet, I was able to stop because I had it on cruise control, right? Or the tractor cruise control.
And you're probably listening to a podcast or a book.
Of course, but I was listening. I was paying attention. I got it stopped pretty quick. But like getting it stopped is, I mean, you have to like with one hand, you have to pull this lever, and you have to like turn off the PTO with another, and and you know, and I'm to be honest, I'm not that great in an emergency. I'm always like, oh, what do I do? You know, and my wife is
the perfect time to panic.
Yeah, but and so literally like a part of the metal had broken off on one end of it. So I texted him like, it's going to require some welding to fix. And he's like, I can weld. I have a welder. And it's all bent. Anyway. But thankfully, I could take off that one bar. And then I had a 4-bar rake. So I was able to finish raking. I was like 80% done. But anyway, It was all exciting. And then got it all baled. But by the time, like, I think it was like 5 or 6 o'clock at night on Saturday, we were almost done baling, and literally we had had either me or my wife was up on the baler, like making bales, and then the other I forced my 2 boys to come down and work, and they were one of them was driving the truck, the other 2 of us were like putting bales on the back of the trailer and then taking them up and unloading them and coming back down, and then it started to drizzle. And we were like panicking on, we got to get all these bales out before it starts to rain. And the weather on the morning didn't say anything about rain. The app didn't say it was supposed to rain. Like we had checked the weather, and then it really started raining pretty. We basically backed the truck with the last trailer of hay just in the barn and kind of shut the barn door half over the hooked up trailer, and it started pouring buckets. We're like, well, anyway, we got most of it up.
Yeah, I was thinking because Saturday my wife and I, we had a date night and went to McMinnville to a restaurant we liked there. It's a Spanish tapas restaurant called La Rambla, and it's quite tasty. And so we just went for a drive, and it's raining. And like, I knew you were haying this week. And as we were driving back, we actually kind of took a roundabout way, just kind of drive through the countryside, and ended up driving right by your house. And I thought, I wonder if I should stop by and see if John needs any help. And then I didn't stop by.
No.
Because it was raining.
But yeah, but that's okay. And there are things we can do better for next year.
There you go.
You know,
it's like bees. You learn something new. John is learning how to hay and bale hay.
Yeah. But I tried, and I will need help to do it next year. Like mechanical help. The baler just wasn't adjusted right, and I could not get it to loosen up there. Anyway, the bales were too loose is basically what it comes down to. And there's anyway, I was like, I could not get it to work. And I regretted that. But anyway, whatever. It's all good. Right. Next year is another year and another opportunity to learn and do it better.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, we have plenty of hay in the barn for the animals this winter, and that is a good thing.
Nice.
How about some security?
All right. So I stumbled across a Twilio Authy. So multi-factor authentication is something that we've talked about quite a bit.
Okay.
And Twilio has confirmed that an unsecured API endpoint allowed threat actors to verify the phone numbers of millions of Authy multi-factor authentication users, potentially making them vulnerable to SMS phishing and SIM swapping attacks. So I don't currently have an Authy app. I'm quite sure I have an Authy account. I have no idea if my number is in this list, but apparently Authy is a mobile app that generates multi-factor authentication codes. You know, you go to a website that requires MFA. I used to have an Authy account. I now do everything in 1Password. But apparently, Authy, in late June, a threat actor named Shiny Hunters. That seems like too happy a name for a threat actor, but Shiny Hunters leaked a CSV file that had over 33 million phone numbers that were registered with the Authy service. So it had account number, phone number, whatever an over-the-top column means, count status, device count. And Twilio had confirmed with Bleeping, this is a Bleeping Computer article, that how they did access it through an unauthenticated API endpoint. Authy, of course, fixed that.
So they basically did a rainbow attack against all the phone numbers.
Pretty much. Just started trolling phone numbers against this API endpoint and started saying because how it worked is if you sent a phone number, if it was valid, it would return all the information associated with that Authy registered account. So the API is now secured, can't be used to verify phone numbers anymore. And it's similar to, I think we probably even talked about it, an unsecured Twitter API a while back, a Facebook API that you could gather millions of users, public and non-public profile information. So this Authy scrape only contained phone numbers, but if you're a threat actor that wants legit phone numbers for multi-factor authentication pieces, that is a key piece of information that might help you build a targeted attack on Authy users. So the one fun part of this article is Twilio has now released a new security update and recommends that users upgrade their Authy Android and Authy iOS apps, which include security updates. The best line in the thing is, it's unclear how the security update helps protect users from threat actors using scraped data in attacks. That's a question I would ask as well. But,
why don't you close the barn door now that the horse is out of the of the stall?
Yep. And Authy says users should ensure that your mobile accounts are configured to block number transfers without providing a passcode or turning off security protections for SIM swapping attacks, which. I think I've commented on this before, is every time I log into AT&T, you know where I'm going. It says, would you like to turn off this extra security? No, there's a reason why I have it. Anyway, so that's the article I got tonight.
Okay, that's a good one. So
if you're an Authy user, watch out for phishing and smishing attacks. I half expect an email at some point from them, but I have yet to hear one. This was July 3rd, so just today this article was released.
Oh, I just did a search on my phone and I don't have Authy installed, so maybe I'm not.
I know I used to.
Who knows if it's been...
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So my thing is... I guess it's not really similar. It's a JavaScript thing, though, so I know that you'll love that.
Of course it's JavaScript.
So this is a supply chain attack, sort of. Well, we've talked a little bit about these sorts of situations in the past, but what happens when a popular library or a popular site is sold to somebody who then has the power to, replace or upgrade code that, with code that is, let's say, more nefarious or something like that. Mm-hmm. So the link we'll put in here is actually to a Cloudflare blog. But the service is called polyfill.io. And at one point, somewhere down here later, it says that, I'm jumping way ahead for this, but it says, We have not outright blocked the domain through any of the mechanisms we have because we are concerned it would cause widespread web outages given how broadly polyfill.io is used, with some estimates indicating usage on nearly 4% of websites, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So the Cloudflare blog starts with polyfill.io, a popular JavaScript library, can no longer be trusted and should be removed from websites. Multiple reports have shown that the polyfill service was being used and could be used again to inject malicious JavaScript code into users' browsers. And Cloudflare, actually hosted a mirror of the non-malicious polyfill.io underneath their DNS.
Mm-hmm.
And then they released a feature that basically rewrote any websites that Cloudflare was serving that included the polyfill.io JavaScript library, dynamically rewrote it to point at their own CDN one instead of the public one.
Nice.
And what I found most interesting about this is that if you're on the free Cloudflare hosting plan, they turned it on automatically, so they protected everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you're paid, you had to go in and actually turn it on yourself. So the logic was that if you're paying for a service, you're probably going to be more responsive to their communication and want control and possibly have a more complex site.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you would want to go in and turn it on and verify and do some testing or something like that. But then by enabling it by default for everyone on the free plan, they protect the vast majority of what they're serving, at least.
Right.
And then they did say that even the free customers could go in and turn it off afterwards if they wanted. But it says in February, the domain polyfill.io, which hosts a popular JavaScript library. So that's the thing, right? You're including this linked from a website whose ownership was transferred. The new owner, Funnull, was a relatively unknown company. At the time, and they have a link there, they were concerned this created a supply chain risk, which led them to spin up their own mirror of the polyfill.io code under their CDN. So the Cloudflare blog doesn't have this link, but there was a Register article as well that had a little bit of who is Funnull? It said, here's a paragraph that's actually from the Register. It says, "We should note Funnull claims to be based in Slovenia, while also, quote, made in the USA. Its various office addresses around the world on its main website don't exist. Its WhatsApp and WeChat contact number is in the Philippines. The site's underlying language and Telegram profile is in Mandarin, and the Polyfill Twitter account says it's based in the UK. So it's inconsistent." Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Okay.
So then the malicious code that was injected was to redirect under certain circumstances to gambling sites. Is what the Cloudflare blog says, at least.
Okay.
Although the Register article says that it says a Chinese language outfit called ACB Group that advertises a range of web products from CDNs to adult live streaming video technology may be the parent of Funnull, as ACB offers Funnull as a CDN solution. One of Funnull's side sites also gives a real address in Manila, which may be where at least some of the team works. So anyway, who knows where this company is truly based. If you have a website and you use Polyfill, you should use the Cloudflare until you could replace it with something else. But the other thing I pulled out of the Cloudflare blog that I thought was really interesting was the substitution library that they use is written entirely in Rust.
Nice.
They said that the quote is, "The memory safety features of Rust are indispensable for ensuring protection against memory leaks while processing a staggering volume of requests measuring in the millions per second. Rust's compiled nature allows us to finely optimize our code for specific hardware configurations, delivering performance gains compared to interpreted languages. This performance allows us to rewrite HTML on the fly and modify the polyfill.io links quickly, safely, and efficiently. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm hearing more and more, like I'm getting lots of pings at work about, hey, are we going to migrate stuff to Rust? Rust is starting well, and didn't we look at Stack Overflow top languages? Isn't Rust near the top now?
Boy, it's been a couple it seems like it's been a while since I looked at the language, yearly language report. That was my something fun at least a couple of times.
I know. Yeah. No, yeah. So I don't know. That's very cool to be able to just solve problems for people at scale.
CDN scale.
Yeah.
At CDN scale. Yeah, you're not writing a Python regex.
No.
So, anyway, supply chain attacks though are they're a thing, and I think companies are not scrupulous companies are definitely taking into account what could be done with things like that. So,
yep. All right.
There you go. That's my topic.
Something fun?
Hit me up. Show me something fun.
I am getting older, and I
resemble that remark.
My hearing is not as good as it used to be.
Okay.
And so I saw this article. I thought maybe there's
what was that?
Hope for me. Waiting for the hashtag dad joke on that one. Well done. So I saw this article. So there is a gene, apparently, that they changed the single gene in mice, and it supercharged their hearing abilities. So apparently there is a gene. So these researchers at the University of Michigan were investigating hearing loss in general, and they dialed up. It says dialing up the mice, mice expression of a nerve growth gene called neurotrophin 3. And so that if you increase the NTF3 expression, it can improve hearing in middle-aged mice. And it even helped recover some hearing in mice with damaged inner ears. And what it does is it increases the number of connections, the synapses between the hair cells in the ear's cochlea and the brain.
Very cool.
And the hair reacts obviously to the sound vibrations, et cetera. So it increases those connections. And the quote here is, "We were surprised to find that when we increased the number of synapses, the brain was able to process the extra auditory information, and those subjects performed better than the control mice in the behavioral test."
Wow.
So, hey, anything that, may in the future, as my hearing degrades, will make it easier for me to hear naturally without sticking some piece of plastic in my ear, that would be kind of cool.
So if it's a genetic, do they have to do that at birth, or is there a treatment that they were able to give that enabled the expression?
It seemed to be a treatment they could give with your existing neurotrophin 3 gene, the nerve growth gene. You poke it. I don't know exactly what they do. I'm not a neurobiologist. Don't even pretend to be one. But my interpretation was the dialing up is they poke it, or they tell it, hey, you need to do more, I guess. And there you go. Might be fun.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I resemble that remark, and I
what?
I'm looking forward to some Alzheimer's fixes from last week, and some hearing loss fixes, and maybe figure out my eyes that seems to be going downhill, and I'm in for all of it.
I'm in for being a natural cyborg.
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay.
All right.
So my something fun is a article in Ars Technica about a human ancestor that we don't actually know that much about. But there's this cave in Tibet. It says that's a high altitude cave used by Tibetan Buddhists. And I put the photo of where the cave is located down in the notes. You should check it out and maybe put it as the chapter art.
Mm-hmm.
The species is called the Denisovans, and unlike some other species like the Neanderthals, which we have lots of remains of, and we have done genetic testing and had studied for or had been known for many years. The Denisovans we didn't understand or know about until DNA sequencing was able to say, hey, this is actually from a species that's unknown. So it says the frequency of their DNA in modern human populations suggests they were likely concentrated in East Asia, but we've only discovered fragments of bone and a few teeth. So we can't even make very informed guesses as to what they might have looked like. On Wednesday, an international group of researchers described finds from a cave on the Tibetan plateau that had been occupied by Denisovans, which tells us a bit more about what they ate. And that appears to be anything they could get their hands on. So they did find one other Denisovan bone in this cave, but they basically did a whole bunch of DNA testing on bones found in the cave to find out what it was. So this cave is called the Baishaya Karst Cave. It's at 11,000 feet high on a cliff above the Tibetan. It says northeast of the Tibetan plateau.
Okay.
It evidently was a pilgrimage site for Tibetan monks, and one of the monks discovered a portion of a lower jaw that was eventually given to a university that they didn't. It says people struggled to understand how it fit with human populations until eventually analysis of proteins preserved within it indicated it belonged to a Denisovan. So anyway, what did they eat? The single most common species was a barrel or blue sheep, which is widespread across the Himalayas, but yaks, horses, gazelles, 2 species of deer, which are consistent with the grasslands that are near the site at the present, but also suggests there may have been some small patches of wooded shrublands present as well. Mm-hmm. There were also woolly rhinoceros, flying squirrels, porcupines, spotted hyena, wolf, snow leopard, and birds like pheasant and golden eagle. They said that some of these may have just ended up in the cave and died on their own, but characterization of the bones show that many of them have signs of muscle being cut away and or having been broken open to extract the marrow. Combined rodent and predator damage appear on only 1% of the bones, while clear signs of butchering are present on nearly 20%. How cool is that?
Huh.
And
I was wondering, how do they know what they ate? And like when you first said, they eat anything, I was like, oh, how do they know? Ah, yes, cave, other things in the cave. I got you now. I'm just a little slow.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty cool story. Makes you want to know more, obviously. So let's see. What else does it say? It says sequencing of environmental DNA preserved in the cave revealed that the Denisovans had occupied the cave regularly for at least 100,000 years, meaning they were surviving at altitude during both of the last 2 glacial cycles. That must have been a miserable existence.
Yeah, how do you get food at that high altitude as glaciers slowly roll by?
I cannot do that math in my head.
No.
With a lot of pain and suffering, I think. But
well, I'm glad they did.
There's also a quote by one of your favorite quoters, "Life finds a way."
Yes, life finds a way. Ian Malcolm. Genius.
Fake genius.
Made up, fictional genius. I'm cool.
Fictional genius. It's okay. Okay, last fact about this. It says they did find a Denisovan, at least one Denisovan bone in there, but it said it was small, and it was a part of a finger bone, part of a rib bone. But it said that said intriguingly, this bone came from a layer within the cave where environmental DNA hadn't indicated that Denisovans were present. But it does indicate the Denisovans were present on the Tibetan plateau as recently as 30,000 years ago. So
that's a cool story. Yes.
Science is cool.
#science! !
So there you go.
All right.
Something fun.
Cool, John. Well, you
all right, my friend.
Get ready, get some sleep, have a safe journey, safe trip.
Thank you very much.
We'll figure out how to chat with you at some point in the future.
I'll let you know how it goes. All right.
Alrighty.
Bye, Eric.
We'll see you. Bye.